All too often, users want to get started with a new mobile app, but faced with a tedious registration process, they give up halfway. However, it is necessary to learn about user information to provide them with a personalized experience. How can you personalize user experience without testing users' patience with a long registration process? HUAWEI Account Kit can help you solve this problem. Account Kit provides a simple and secure login authorization function based on international standard protocols such as OAuth 2.0 and OpenID Connect. With one-click authorization, your new users can immediately log into your app through their HUAWEI IDs, eliminating the need to enter various personal information, perform email or SMS verification, or even set a password. When users restart the app, their HUAWEI IDs are automatically logged in by default, and there is no need to reauthorize. This can help greatly reduce the user churn rate during app registration and login. To ensure account security, Account Kit uses two-factor authentication to encrypt data throughout the process. Users have to confirm their identity with their password and SMS verification code. This encryption method ensures the security of all your users during login while complying with global privacy regulations. Account Kit will streamline your interactions with the hundreds of millions of active users around the world who choose HUAWEI devices. The kit enables login from different types of HUAWEI devices, such as mobile phones, tablets, smart TVs, and in-vehicle smart devices. This allows you to take full advantage of HUAWEI's all-scenario ecosystem to expand into global markets and acquire users. Implement HUAWEI Account Kit and allow users all over the world to log into your app conveniently, quickly, and securely.
Yes, looking into the features, the HMS Kit has authorization code support in terms of when you're trying to sign in into an app. It also supports ID tokens, and it allows you to acquire users' basic information like avatar name, nickname, and also the email based on the scope that you would have chosen for the kit. And it allows the user to be able to manage apps, which they can access their accounts, which is app management and authorization cancellation that they can do. So looking into the types of authentication flow which are offered by the kits, there's two types of flows which you can be able to interact with, especially when you're doing the coding. The authorization code one is the one that requires the app to have a server, and the ID token does not. Authorization code is one that's usually the one that we recommend, and ID token is not usually used because it doesn't really require users' details to be saved in the backend, and not a lot of apps actually use that kind of use case. So just to explain a little bit more onto the authorization code flow. So your initial thing that will happen is that your app will send an authorization request into the HMS Core APK that is embedded within your app, and the user will have to agree to the authorization because the user account screen will be popped up so that the user can accept the details. And from there, after the user authenticates, the app will then obtain the authorization code from the HUAWEI auth server so that it can then send it back to the app client. The app client will then take that code and then verify from your actual app server if the actual user is the right user or not, or if they're registering, then you'll be able to actually save those details into the database. So just before you actually get to interact with the code, you have to do these 4 steps to integrate the app. Firstly, you have to apply for your HUAWEI ID, register as a developer into the HUAWEI developer console, and then from there you can then get the HMS kits, download the configuration file from Huawei App Gallery console, and then you get the AGC plugin onto your Marvin dependencies, and then you download the HMS SDK into your app, into your development environment, so that you can be able to access all the functionality. And then from there, that's the coding, and then you can be able to do testing, A/B testing on AGC as well, and then you can release your app. So yes, now to get into the coding, with the authentication code, which is the one that I'll be focusing on. Firstly, you need to build the request before you can actually do anything. And as you can see, you first get the parameters of the request sorted out, and then after that, we initialize the auth service, which will then bring up the screen. And then after the screen, with your start activity for results, that's when you'll be able to handle what you do with the information that you receive. So you'll be receiving your information here when the authorization has been successful and the user has accepted your app's authorization. Then you can then call your server to actually post the information and save it to the database. Now, really, the step that is posting into the database that we suggest that you do it on the server side. It's this one. So this would be a basic API call. And the first step, what we do is that we build the request first, and we set the parameters. First, you use the authorization code that you get from the HMS Core APK, and then the app secret, app ID, and the redirect URL. All of these you will get from AGC, which is the App Gallery console, and you can configure the URL redirect yourself, so you don't actually have to get it from the App Gallery console. And then after you've set up the request, then you do the API call. When you receive the information, then you'll actually first get the access token and the refresh token. And after you've gotten the token, which allows you to access the user's information, then you can do the post to the Huawei cloud, where you can get the user's information. Also, your refresh token will expire after some time, and then you'll have to actually apply for a refresh token. And with the refresh token, it's the same thing as you do with the token. You do an API call, but this time you don't have to get the URI redirect and a few other things which you did on your first API call. This time you just need the app secret and the refresh token to be able to get another token for your app to be authenticated.